Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to welcome you to this press conference and the official launch of our second edition of the EUroCham Corporate Social Responsibility Contest and Awards. This year, EUroCham is celebrating its 10th anniversary as the official chamber of the European business community in the Kingdom. In the past decade, our community has grown to over 300 members and 6 national chapters. And we continue to grow, especially in terms of impact and recognition. EUroCham's Cambodia's core activities are to promote, support, and represent our members, and also the European business values and interests in dialogue with the royal government of Cambodia and our institutional partners, with the aim of developing a more efficient and sustainable business and investment environment. We are glad to say that as a leading foreign business association, since 10 years now, we have had a very fruitful cooperation with the Cambodian government, showcased through more than 190 official interactions with the royal government in 2019 and 2020, our white books, and also many meaningful events that we can organize, thanks to the support and the insights of their excellencies and the line ministries. We are very happy to have you here with us, and we hope we can guide you through our contest and awards, and also its importance for Cambodia's economic future. At the end of the press conference, you will have the opportunity to ask questions, and later on, we will be happy to invite you to join us and our other guests downstairs at the poolside to celebrate 2021. Now has come the time to present our panel for tonight. First of all, we are very honored by the presence of His Excellency Mr. Sokchenda Sapia, Minister attached to the Prime Minister and Secretary General of the Council for the Development of Cambodia. We also have tonight Mr. Tassilo Brinzer, Chairman of EUroCham Cambodia, and also Mr. Laurent Messman, Special Advisor to the Dean of the Royal University of Law and Economics, former judge of the first edition of the CSR Contest and Awards, and Mr. Messman has gracefully accepted to join us again on the judge panel. And of course, myself. I am Lise Ikopo Bentoto. I am the members and national chapters manager at EUroCham Cambodia, and I'm also the manager in charge of the Contest and Awards. I would like now to give the word to our chairman, Mr. Tassilo Brinzer, who will address the concept of corporate social responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you, Lise. Thank you so much. And also thank you very much to you and the team for organizing the CSR Awards. I know it's been a lot of work, and starting here today is a pleasure. And especially also thank you very much, Excellency Sokchenda Sapia, for joining us today, for being our honorary judge as well for the CSR campaign, and for supporting EUroCham in the many different ways that you have in the past 10 years. In particular, I do recall our last interactions on the investment law, where we had a very intense exchange on various aspects of this upcoming law. And we as EUroCham have very high expectations on it. So thank you on that. As mentioned by Lise, also the aim of EUroCham, our goal is to support and present our members and European business interests in dialogue with the royal government. And as EUroCham, CSR is increasingly important. It's important for European businesses, and it's important for the EU, and it's important for many interactions that we have with the business community here in Cambodia. CSR goes to the core of our socio-economic fabric, to the core of the role that companies play in our everyday lives and the role that they should play in shaping our environment, in shaping our lives as employees, customers, as stakeholders, in every possible form of economic activity. You could say that the concept of corporate social responsibility immediately also relates to European values, which we as EUroCham here also represent, to the core of what we at EUroCham stand for and what our member companies strongly believe in. Corporate social responsibility is a concept, and for many of us, a deep-rooted conviction. I would almost say that a way of life for many companies, whereby businesses, no matter what their field of activity is, integrate a wide array of or a selection of social and environmental concerns in their economic activity, in their internal and external operations, in how they do business, in how they interact with their stakeholders, from customers and to suppliers. When talking about CSR, one often hears about the triple bottom line. We all know the classic bottom line, that's profit. But there's also, in the progressive economic concept, other bottom lines. There's there's profit, people, and the planet nowadays as well. Yeah? And companies that have the triple bottom line as a concept high on the agenda are the ones that will succeed in the future, vis-à-vis their customers, vis-à-vis their suppliers, and vis-à-vis all of their stakeholders. CSR is a part of a company's self-regulation and part of its approach to corporate governance. It can relate to every part of the business operations, human resources, manufacturing, supply chain, health and safety, and more. Corporate social responsibility comes in many different shapes and sizes. The bottom line is always that businesses conduct their companies in a principled manner and work towards having a more positive impact on their stakeholders. Socially responsible companies work to reduce and eliminate their negative impact, as well as positively contribute to society while remaining economically viable. In this context, I would also like to mention that we have the European Union has elevated ASEAN as a whole and its relationship with ASEAN as a whole to a strategic partnership in late 2020. And one of the key aspects of this strategic partnership is climate change as a key project that is being addressed. ASEAN integration, the cooperation on the issues on the response of COVID-19, and green growth, sustainable development, and connectivity. All of this relates to CSR and to our work here in Cambodia as well. I mentioned earlier that CSR is a deep-rooted conviction and a way of life for companies. More and more companies realize that taking corporate social responsibility serious also contributes to their profitability. Working in a sustainable, environmentally conscious way reduces the use of or abuse of physical, financial, and even human resources, while at the same time optimizing the resources at the company's disposal. An efficient CSR initiative has the power to increase employee engagement. Companies with higher levels of engagement are more productive and can create a higher revenue per employee. Many employees today want to do more than work for a company. They want to work with a company and for a larger purpose. Consumers are demanding more from the businesses that get their hard-earned money. Businesses that are perceived as valuing more than just profit are gaining favor with the public. Similarly, there can be pressure from shareholders and investors and the supply chains. The principle of CSR is to lead by example in the broader society. We extend this idea by having the participants to our context actually also lead by example amongst themselves. The contest is a practical and rewarding way to involve more members and non-members in CSR practices. But the concept of our contest really is to share experiences between companies and at the same time to highlight good CSR examples within and outside our members' networks. Having nominations and an award is a nice extra, but it is about the CSR journey. Thinking about your company's practices, thinking how you can improve, perhaps discovering that there's still much to improve. Learning from the feedback of our experienced CSR judges, and so on. In short, the chase is better than the catch, and we hope that you all enjoy the journey along our CSR awards. I would like to pass the word now to His Excellency Sokchana Sopir, who again gratefully is joining our CSR awards, and then later to Laurent. Thank you so much.
So I should say good evening or good afternoon. So good evening. And first of all, Tassilo and your team, I wish to thank you for receiving me and inviting me to join this event. Before talking about CSR, let me acknowledge the many accomplishments that EUroCham has achieved in order to contribute to a better business environment in Cambodia. I like to mention the White Book. I like to mention it's not yet published, but you has just finished the business confidence survey. I like to mention the various workshops that you have organized for FTA and many other events. This is for us, this is for the government as for the CDC, really what we wish to have from a partner. You are a stakeholder, but in EUroCham case, you are a real partner. And I think we have done altogether some good move altogether, including the investment law that you have mentioned. So, thank you, EUroCham. Congratulations. Secondly, I am more than delighted and touched to realize that people who by nature should be guided by money profit. This is the reason that of all companies. There is nothing wrong. If you don't make money, if you don't make profit, you go bankrupt, you disappear. So it's normal that companies strive, make money. But I am touched when I see that companies, in addition to the aspiration to make money, at the same time, do care about stakeholders. Thank you, Tassilo. I didn't know about your bottom line, your 3P. I learned that there is 3 Ps, not standing for public-private partnership, but standing for for profit, people, and planet. I learned from you. But because before coming here, arriving here, I have the same idea, but I didn't know about 3P. And I was thinking about the profit. I was thinking about, obviously, about the people. And I was thinking classically about environment. But you put it more nicely than me. Coming back to people, environment, I really, I'm really grateful that European companies take the lead in in the endeavor to care and share. Those companies who pay attention to CSR are caring for people and caring about the environment. We should acknowledge this. In addition, now more and more, as you mentioned, the environment become an issue. Climate change is not only in newspaper, it's a reality. It's affect the whole world, including Cambodia. That companies, it's not only the government who can do something to address this serious issue of climate change. It's coming every day. And that companies, private companies, take part of this endeavor to think about climate change is something that I wish to acknowledge. I recognize so much this. Normally I prefer to use we because I'm working for an institution, but in this occasion I use purposely the word I, because I do care about environment and I do care about people. And as a matter of fact, the long-awaited investment law it's nearly finished. It's finished. It's just formalities. We have to go through a committee, then it will reach the review by the cabinet. And as I has said somewhere to a journalist, that at the latest by this end of semester 2021, the law will be enforced. I'm very proud. I am not proud 100% yet, but I have always paid attention to companies who I still remember the first company in Cambodia that has provided canteen to their workers. I am traveling along the road and I saw workers buying their food during lunchtime. It broke my heart. So I still remember which company was the first one to offer food in their canteen. I still remember the first company who took care of the transportation of the workers. I will never forget. One day, I was in Bavat near the Vietnamese border. I finished my day, long day of meeting. It was 5 p.m. I was about to leave Bavat, and all the workers getting out from the factory on their track, standing, and then shower, the rain. They were standing under the rain. I am in my car, aircon car. What a shame. So this is just an example that made me think, what can I do? So I make a long story short because I don't want you to cry. But the new investment law will have fiscal incentive. As the current one, there are basic incentive, fiscal incentive. It's about tax holidays, a certain number of years during which companies will not be subject to payment of the corporate tax. In addition to this basic tax holiday, there is something totally new. It's whenever a company spends money for transportation, accommodation, canteen, and some other expense, they will be able to deduct 150% of the expense. This is totally new. And this is what? This is in my dream, and this dream will come true the day the cabinet will approve it. This is our way. I don't pretend to that it is my baby. I would prefer here to say it is our way to tell you that you have done your part. The government claps, to tango we need two. So the government will do its part also. This is very important. This is, I think, encouragement for other companies that are not yet engaged in CSR activities to realize that we should join this spirit. I have another consideration for companies who are spending money for CSR. Of course, there is this ethic. Before, I don't know, Tassilo, you are more educated than me. Before, we never used that word. You may tell us when for the first time this word was used. But before, we were talking about ethic. There is this spirit of ethic. But I am more at the ground floor. And whenever companies spend money on CSR, personally, as the Secretary General of the CDC, I am more than happy. Why? It means that this company is not doing hit and run. When you spend money on CSR, it means you are here for the long term. Tell you frankly, every day on my desk, you have application for new project. I'm happy. But I'm really happy when land on my desk, application for expansion of an existing factory, because it means the company is happy. If you expand, you are happy. If you expand, it means you will stay. As opposed to a new company, you don't know if they will survive. So not only it's laudable for the company to undertake those activities, but in addition, in economic terms, for me, it's really encouraging. And never forget, and this is, I close the circle. I start by saying, by acknowledging the contribution of EUroCham, and I will end by talking about EUroCham. I hope that your initiative, EUroCham initiated in 2019, will emulate, will inspire other business associations, including the Cambodian one, and let's make the world a better place. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and thank you, Tassilo, for these really important insights on CSR, especially its relevance today from a Cambodian government and also the private sector perspective. So now I will give some details about the actual organization of the 2021 CSR Contest and Awards, and I will be starting with the corporate category. As business association, as we did for our first edition in 2019, our main focus is on corporate social responsibility, which is carried out by the private sector. This year, as was mentioned previously, for the first time we are opening the contest to the entire business community, including companies that are not member of EUroCham Cambodia, meaning that all foreign and local businesses active and registered in Cambodia involved in corporate social responsibility activities may apply and will have the chance to win an award. The corporate category is divided in the following 4 subcategories. The first one is the CSR Business Award category, open to businesses that integrated CSR strategies and values in their core business operations. The second category is the CSR Project Awards category, open to businesses engaged in sustainable environmental, social, and community-focused activities and projects other than their business operations. The third one is the CSR Environmental Award category, open to businesses who will be assessed on their environmental performance and impact. And the last and fourth category will be the CSR Sustainable Production Award category, open to businesses who will be assessed on the sustainability and impact of their production and supply chain strategy. In order to guarantee more fairness and maximize the opportunities for all, the contestants, which are micro, small, and medium enterprises, will be competing in a separate category from the large companies that will be competing together. This way, we can guarantee that the assessment is made on the available resources. By doing this, we also want to highly encourage SMEs to participate and to also deconstruct this idea that CSR is only for large companies. We have here in Cambodia local, micro, small, and also medium businesses whose innovative approach are essential and key to create sustainable supply chains and contribute in lifting the Cambodian business landscape to a global sustainable level. Secondly, for the 2 first categories that I mentioned, the CSR Business Awards and the Project Awards subcategories, EUroCham members and EUroCham non-members will be competing in 2 separate groups. As a business association, we opened the contest to the entire business community, so it is our responsibility to make sure to avoid any appearance of conflict of interest. Regarding the 2 last corporate categories, the environmental one and the sustainable production one, given the technicity of the criteria, these will be mixed. So EUroCham and non-EUroCham members will compete together, but the frame of the category, the criteria, and the evaluation will be performed by individual judges, which will be experts, and also organizations, of which some are present today, and for which we are still open for collaborations. This brings us to a total of 4 subcategories and 12 awards for the corporate category. For instance, the CSR Business Awards winners will have 2 SME CSR Business Awards winners, one who will be a EUroCham member competing with EUroCham members, and another one that will be a non-member competing with non-members, and we will apply the same for the large categories. All contestants will be able to join by filling in an online form where they can choose their subcategory from the 1st of March. The contest is free of charge for our members, as the portion of their membership contributes to the organization of the contest, and for non-members, there will be a participation fee of $100 for SMEs and $200 for the large companies, which will be used to cover the logistics of the contest. The private sector is not the sole contributor to sustainable development, but we have many other stakeholders, which are institutional, civic, and community-led, that are also part of the process. This year, we are also introducing for the first time a non-corporate category, and we will focus on the youth and the future of the kingdom. Mr. Mesman will further elaborate on the impact and the importance of the involvement of the younger generation. But what we want is to encourage young individuals between 16 and 25 years old and youth-led organizations who are passionate and involved in any type of activity, whether it's waste management, waste collection, awareness raising, community engagement, organic farming, or others, to participate. For the youth category, the participation is free, and there will be 2 winners, the Youth Excellence Award winner and the Youth Jury Choice Award winner. All contestants, both corporate and youth, will be able to apply from the 1st of March until the 31st of March. And later on, be given sufficient time to enter their contest entry form highlighting their activities. Once we have reached that deadline, we will proceed to a shortlisting, which will only be based on eligibility and procedural criteria, and which will be performed by the organizers, EUroCham. We will publish the shortlisted nominees and then send the contest entry forms to the juries of each category, who will proceed to an evaluation and deliberation and then determine the winners. In the second half of the year, from October 2021, an award ceremony will be organized by EUroCham, where we will highlight the shortlisted nominees and also announce the winners. Now, the most important question is, what is the benefit of participating? First of all, the award is about connecting like-minded thinkers who understand the potential and the importance of CSR. It's also an opportunity to be promoted, and also as a community to promote local initiatives and the best CSR practices, and also the role models in the Cambodian business community. It's about creating an inclusive platform for corporate and also youth-led transformative social ideas and ventures. It's about fostering engagement of various societal actors towards a more sustainable future, cultivating innovation and responsible strategies through local models, and also to unlock opportunities and increase the competitive advantages for businesses with a global vision. Through various activities like company visits, webinars, workshops, and others, we will provide also networking opportunities and capacity building for the shortlisted nominees, which will also be, of course, highlighted throughout the contest through our channels. And of course, the cherry on the cake would be to acquire the status of the ultimate role model and win an award. Today is not only about talking about participating as a contestant, but we are also welcoming international organizations and institutions and other experts to join us as judges, technical advisors, or take other roles, as we want to provide the businesses and the younger contestants access to information and expertise and feedback on how they can do better and how they can optimize their impact and improve their social and environmental footprint. This can only give more meaning to this contest and also contribute to the dialogue between the private sector and also the non-corporate actors in working together, contributing to achieving the development goals and also creating a smart and prosperous environment beneficial for all stakeholders. For those that want to have more information, we will have all the rules and guidelines and the information available on the dedicated website, which will be available very soon. And at the end of the press conference, I will be more than happy to discuss it. And if you are joining us, of course, at the cocktail as well. Thank you very much. And now I will give the word to Mr. Laurent Messman, who will talk about his experience as a judge in 2019 and also the importance of the youth.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you very much for being there. it's really great, and you've chosen. I've seen people aged between 16 and 25 years old. So I had a look at the new census of the population of Cambodia, and I calculated it represents 17.2% of the population in Cambodia. So that's quite a big amount of young who can be targeted through this call for proposal. And I think it's tremendously important in my view to target them, to offer them incentives, and to make them aware of SDGs, SCR, about the concept that you told us, Tassilo, before, the triple bottom line, PPP, and so that they can integrate this in their mind, and when they launch a business, integrate it. If they are an employee, maybe at their workplace. So I'm very looking forward to see the new projects, what they will come up with, and I think also it's very important for this youth category to create a category for individuals and for young-led organization, because you always have people who prefers to be leaders, and you also need to have team players. You cannot have only individual leaders. So you have different kind of personalities, and you have to find a way to enlighten their achievement if they are worthy. So I'm very looking forward, and I think this new category will be another occasion for universities and the public and the private sectors to work hand in hand. And I'm sure we'll be one more time amazed to see how creative and caring the young generation can be when they are empowered, and maybe this category will enable to help youth role model to emerge, to identify new role model for the young generation. So I truly thank EUroCham to take up the challenge of involving the youth, the young generation. It's new, so it's not so easy. You will have to communicate, to find a way to attract them, and I'm sure it's gonna give them a way of finding a mentor or a sparkle for a new generation of innovators who will keep in mind the social and environmental responsibilities we all bear as citizens of the world and lucky residents or citizens of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Thank you very much.
So thank you once more to the panel for being here. So this is the end of the presentations, and we will now open the floor for the Q&A. So if there are any questions, you can share them now.
I have the answer, but I am quite uncomfortable. As I told you, we have finished drafting the law. But as of today, the draft has not been yet submitted to the cabinet. So if I am announcing that it is this, then the Prime Minister say, hey, he has already decided. Big problem. Okay? Understand me. So I will try to respond to you. First, as I mentioned, we want to recognize the contribution of companies who has spent money for training, for canteen, transportation, dormitory. I have these four in mind. And in the law, in the draft law, there is no mention at all of CSR. We do it, but we don't mention it. But it's about the same. But we may consider other kind of expense. The rationale behind this is that we want Cambodia to be more competitive. We want Cambodian product to be of higher quality. For this, all stakeholders has to be involved. We all know that the product will be good if workers put their heart in their work. Although they have the goodwill, but if they don't have the proper skill, it doesn't lead to the right place. So skill, definitely, capacity building should be encouraged. In Cambodia, as in all countries, including Europe, you always have mismatch between the supply and the demand of the labor force. Everywhere. Developed country, developing countries. Solution? In-house training. If it is a skill, a training provided outside of the factory, it may not match to the needs. But if the company provide in-house training, spend money, then it will completely fit to the demand. This is the idea. Why we decide it's our way to contribute with the private sector for better quality, for more competitiveness of Cambodian economy in general. Then for canteen, for transportation. I have personally, I am a member of the Committee on Financial and Economic Policy, and also member of the Committee on Productivity. And I was sharing my view that productivity in a factory is not only measures, action that you will take within the factory. And I talk about real case. I am in charge of the district 27 kilometers from Phnom Penh, Ang Snul. It's the district of Cambodia where you have the most factory. We have 120 factories. And I visit them. I visit the workers. Some workers have to commute 1 hour and a half to come and 1 hour and a half back. Dry season is okay. If not under the sun, it's okay. You see how they are commuting. You imagine the sun, you imagine the rain. How can they be productive? So on one hand, there is this wish to increase productivity. But again, let's think about people, one of the 3P. And I am happy. Workers, as you know, before they have a very low minimum wage, year after year, now investors tend to complain that it's become too high. So, for example, this year, a very tiny increase, but there are many ways to improve the living condition of workers. You can increase in monetary term, but you can maintain it. But if you make, on the other hand, the life more pleasant, they will be more happy. So the spirit is this, is increase productivity, but we do care about people. We do care. And then when you are talking about SDG, our friend from the press, just to mention, is the UN criteria. Before it was MDG, Millennium Development Goal. SDG stands for sustainable. It's about, the keyword is sustainable, JRP. Sustainable by caring more about the environment, for example. So first answer, a long answer, you may be disappointed, but please understand me. And the second, I read in Khmer Time and in other papers that maybe somebody told in April. I am more cautious than this. I will not dictate to my Prime Minister when he will look at it. I know how the government is functioning, but it is, for me, it's at the latest, because technically everything has been done. Prime Minister may decide to be more generous than what we have been drafting. So without being too optimistic, it's just to be realistic and play safe. By end of June, by at the latest, it will be enforced. So forgive me to be that broad. As I have the floor, to add to Liz and for our friends from the press that took time to come to join us, there is two information very important. This event, the contest, CSR contest, is organized by EUroCham. You know that. But it's not restricted to European companies at all. Please insist in your article that it's open to all companies, either member of EUroCham or not. This is important. This is very important. People will be surprised. So write whatever you want, but it's open to all, not restricted to EUroCham. It is very laudable because it's a lot of work and headache, I tell you, for the judge. Second, and this is brand new. The first one is brand new. The second one is CSR. It's true. People immediately think about big companies, multinational. They can afford to do that. But I have met small, medium companies. What is a very example that you have seen, all of you, in Phnom Penh or in Siem Reap? Some youngster from some companies, small companies, that go and run after the rubbish, the plastic bag. It's CSR. And then to recognize this, it's just something that we should do, and we will encourage to see more of such initiative. So two important information. Please, friends from the media, open to all nationalities, and all small and big. Thank you. សូមអញ្ជើញសួរអ្នកកសែតកុំអីខ្ញុំអត់មកទេណា Micro.
So good evening. I'm Liepi from the Construction and Property magazine. So as you mentioned that it's open for all companies, what about the constructions and like property company? Because of like the construction and property sectors are like one of the booming sector in Cambodia. So of course you are open for them, but how can you encourage them to join the contest? And then like what benefits can they get from joining, and then what can they do? I mean, like what is the result if they join? And another question you mentioned about like climate change and SDG, like the Sustainable Development Goal of the UN. And then is there any like recommendations, or is there any ways that you can help or encourage the constructions and property like developer to involve more in this? And back to the government, is the government having any policy to really promote or like make the construction and property company involved more in CSR or like climate change or SDG? So that's my question.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, how to reach that sector, I think that's through you. So, as the editor of the construction magazine, so please, transmit the message to the industry and to the sector. And indeed, it's a very, very important sector also for CSR. Yeah, and I mean, they employ 100,000 of people probably in Cambodia who need to be treated fairly, equally, consciously. They can use economically efficient technologies to improve the way they build, the way they transport, the way they manage their buildings. So the construction sector is key, is one of the key sectors here. They can use renewable energy on their roofs, they can use electric vehicles in transporting their tenants, etc. So very, very important sector. How to encourage them, again, please promote the CSR awards to them. But and then regarding the benefits, of course, as Lee said earlier, it's recognition. It's an award. It's a medal that you can put out there, right? You won this EUroCham CSR award because you're doing the right thing, yeah? And that's very, very important, I think. So please help us on that. And yeah, that's actually it. I think. Did you have another question? Yeah. Excellent.
I will compliment. I'm not on the private side, but I was on the private side. Talking about the benefit for a company that get the award. Do you know what is important in a company? Do you know what is important in your company? The people. Then, when your company is recognized as a good company, people will queue to work there. You know, I know, I went through that. You have the option between 3 jobs. Slight difference for the proposed wages. Which one you choose? You may choose the one that is closest to your home. Fair enough. But you may choose also, because after investigating, you realize that this company has CSR measures. Although it's far from your home, but you like that spirit, because those people do care about people. This is a very important incentive, because being able to attract, to recruit good people, what better than this? Company, they are paying consultant in order to recruit. You see how important is the human resources in a company. CSR is a magnet in order to attract people, to come to work for the company. Or better, I like very much not to work for a company. The people who work at the CDC, I never say they work for me. They work with me. As for the government, your question, so far, we didn't talk precisely about it, but although we don't mention it, as I tell you, it will come into effect. But this is why I like the initiative of EUroCham. We can imagine easily that then it become bigger things. And I take this opportunity to tell to EUroCham, and I hope that other business associations will hear what I tell you today. I wish to see the private sector, I wish to see business association, not in their role as advocacy, not always complaining, asking for benefit and this and that. Okay, fair enough when you have problem. But ideally, as a partner, please come with proposal, initiative. This is constructive partnership, mature partnership. សូមអញ្ជើញចូលមកហើយសួរ BTV.
I would like to speak in Khmer language because I'm not good in English. ជាសំណួរសំខាន់ដោយសារតែ COVID-19 ហើយយើងឃើញថាក្រុមហ៊ុនមួយចំនួនក៏មានបញ្ហាប្រឈមខ្លាំងដែរនៅក្នុងឆ្នាំ2020ត្បិតតែក្នុងឆ្នាំ2021នោះក៏មានបញ្ហាដូចគ្នាថាតើ CSR Contest នេះវានឹងអាចជួយអ្វីខ្លះនៅក្នុងវិស័យ SME ដោយសារតែពេលនេះយើងផ្ដោតទៅលើ SME ហើយគិតថានឹងមានការចូលរួមច្រើនដោយការរំពឹងទុកទេឬក៏ការរំពឹងទុកនៅក្នុង contest ហ្នឹងបែបណាដែរ
ខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណ I respond in Khmer and I will translate myself ខ្ញុំពេញចិត្តមែនទែននឹងសំណួរនេះព្រោះនៅក្នុងកលៈទេសៈដ៏លំបាកនេះបើយើងឃើញថាមានក្រុមហ៊ុនតូចមធ្យមបរទេសឬខ្មែរនៅគិតគូរទៅដល់បុគ្គលិករបស់ខ្លួនគិតគូរទៅដល់បរិស្ថានអាពងពិបាកហ្នឹងធម្មតាខ្មែរថាគិតតែប្រយោជន៍ណាគិតតែផលប្រយោជន៍ខ្លួនឯងប៉ុន្តែនេះគិតទៅដល់សង្គមគិតទៅដល់បរិស្ថាននេះជារឿងមួយដែលធ្វើឲ្យយើងថាជីវិតមានន័យហើយនេះរឿងនេះវាកើតឡើងអញ្ចឹងបើខ្ញុំពេញចិត្តនឹងសំណួរហ្នឹងយើងដឹងថាវិស័យទេសចរមានការប៉ះទង្គិចធ្ងន់ណាស់ខ្ញុំធ្វើដំណើរច្រើនណាស់តាំងពីមានកូវីដហ្នឹងមកចូលទៅណាអត់បានម្ល៉េះឲ្យធ្វើដំណើរទៅប៉ុន្តែធ្វើដំណើរហ្នឹងមែនទែនដើរលំហែកាយផងប៉ុន្តែចង់ដឹងពីសភាពការជាក់ស្ដែងនៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំទៅសន្តាគារជួនកាលបិទឈឹងជួនកាលបិទផងបើកផងតិចតួចហ្នឹងខ្ញុំទៅនិយាយជាមួយបងប្អូនក្មួយធ្វើការនៅនោះហើយដែលគាត់បានប្រាប់ថាអត់ទេថៅកែឬក៏អ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងហ្នឹងគាត់បានរកគំនិតធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យចែកគ្នាមានធ្វើការដាក់វេនគ្នានេះអានេះ CSR ចំណាបើអ្នកនោះប្រះយោបិទទៅចប់រឿងប៉ុន្តែបិទទៅគ្នាទៅណានេះខ្ញុំរំភើបណាស់ពេលខ្ញុំលឺហ្នឹង So the question was and this within this troubled time COVID time how EUroCham, the organizer, expect or would encourage people to have those measures or to compete or to let people know about their activities, their contribution. And I am so pleased that she asked that question because it's true. Normally, during trouble time, it would be SOS, save our soul. Things about ourselves first and don't care about the rest. But it's a peer, and I have seen by my own eyes, because of COVID, I cannot travel abroad, not for fun, for my work. So every 2 weeks, I'm here and there in the province, and I talk to people, especially in the hospitality sector, and I'm so touched when I talk to people working in hotel, what is happening and this and that. And they explain to me that the owner, that the manager, instead of closing completely, instead of laying off 50% and this and that, they come out with idea to try to maintain and to share the job within all workers. This is really, really moving, that those people are not only thinking about their own interests, but they really care about the human resources, their staff, and it's happened every day. ขอบคุณ My whole mouth.
It's almost time, but let me add on the EuroCham part of your question, right? So indeed, we're trying to promote this event as much as we can. One thing we have learned during COVID, that is how to use digital means and how to communicate digitally. So I think that we will ride the wave, if you want, and really use all means that we have available in these days and these times to reach as many people as possible. That's definitely one. I also wanted to add something to what both Excellency Sokhchana Sopia and also Laurent Messman said. We are very much counting on young people as well. We know that there is a very, very socially aware and generally also environmentally climate change aware generation that is coming up here right now. And we see it in our businesses. We see how engaged they are. We see how they care. We see how they really want to improve their world and their futures. And that's why indeed, we are targeting this group, these people, and we hope indeed that we can reach as many as possible. But I think we have a really, really professional team here at EuroCham, under Lise, with Lise, with our whole, net within our network. And I'm sure that we can make the CSR Awards a great success here in Cambodia in 2021. Thank you.
My time, because I see that you are a partner. Yes, your partnership shows that you are also contributing to CSR by being a partner. No, really. អរេបានខ្ញុំអរគុណដល់គាត់ Okay, gentlemen. Other people are waiting for you. Next time, I'm going to see you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So before we end the press conference, we also want to encourage other initiatives, because it's not only EuroCham that promotes CSR. You have the French Chamber of Commerce, who also launched the Business Excellence Award, and this Friday they will close their competition at Rosewood. And also the CEE, the Cambodian Energy Efficiency Competition, that will be launched very shortly. Thank you very much for coming. We want to thank the media. We also want to thank the viewers. And we actually will also launch and show our video. We have a testimonial video where we have our 2019 winners that talk about their experience and the importance of CSR. And then we also have the video that officially launches the 2021 CSR. Thank you.
My name is Tassilo Brinze. I'm the chairman of EUroCham since 2020, and I'm chairing the CSR Contest and Awards in Cambodia 2021.
បាទជំរាបសួរបាទខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះវិជាឈ្មោះពេញគឺទៀងសុភវិជាខ្ញុំគឺជាកាន់ទទួលខុសត្រូវផ្នែកគេហៅតំណែងតំណងសាធារណៈហើយនឹងទទួលខុសត្រូវផ្នែកគេហៅថាយើងហៅ CSR ហ្នឹងដែរបាទ
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះសៀងផល្លាមកពីខាងក្រុមហ៊ុនខ្ជុងអនាម័យហើយតួនាទីរបស់ខ្ញុំនៅក្នុងក្រុមហ៊ុនខ្ជុងអនាម័យគឺជាប្រធានគម្រោង
Je suis docteur Jacques Marcille, je suis docteur en biologie et je suis le directeur de la société Coolara Water qui produit l'eau minérale naturelle au coulet.
បាទចក្ខុវិស័យCSR របស់ក្រុមហ៊ុន Chip Monsi គឺយើងចង់ឲ្យបុគ្គលិកទាំងអស់ក្រៅពីអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងយល់ថាការងារ CSR គឺមិនមែនអ្វីដែលយើងគួរធ្វើទេគឺអ្វីដែលយើងត្រូវធ្វើ
នៅក្នុង KGC ចក្ខុវិស័យរបស់យើងគឺយើងតោតទៅលើធម្មពលស្អាតសម្រាប់ការចម្អិនហេតុអ្វីបានខ្ញុំនិយាយថាធម្មពលស្អាតក្នុងការចម្អិនពីព្រោះក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់យើងបានផលិតផលិតផលរបស់យើងពីសារធាតុសរីរាង្គដែលអត់មានកាប់បំផ្លាញព្រៃឈើនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជារបស់យើងទេចា៎
Notre vision c'était d'innover, c'est l'innovation et c'est ce qui nous a permis d'ailleurs de développer cette eau minérale qui a été la première eau minérale naturelle du Cambodge.
បើចំពោះក្រុមហ៊ុនខាងយើងដែលយើងចាប់យកចូលរួមក្នុង CSR គឺយើងផ្ដោតទៅលើវិស័យអប់រំពីព្រោះកម្មករដែលចូលនៅក្នុងរោងចក្ររបស់យើងមុននឹងគាត់បម្រើចូលការងារគឺគាត់មានកិច្ចសន្យាជាមួយយើងច្បាស់លាស់ដែលយើងមានការសហការជាមួយអង្គការ CSR ដើម្បីបញ្ជូនកូនពួកគាត់ឲ្យទៅរៀន
This collaboration helps to create social and economic opportunities, enhancing the country's visibility within the international community.
សារៈសំខាន់មែនទែន CSR ក្នុងការជួយអភិវឌ្ឍប្រទេសកម្ពុជាពីព្រោះបើសិនជាធនធានមនុស្សនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយើងគាត់ទទួលបានស្គាល់ពីតើអ្វីទៅ CSR ចឹងវានឹងជួយជំរុញក្នុងការអភិវឌ្ឍ
Bon, pour nous la chance de pouvoir d'avoir pu maintenir tous les emplois que nous avons
បាទប្រកាសឲ្យ COVID បានធ្វើឲ្យមានការប៉ះពាល់ដល់សកម្មភាព CSR ក៏ប៉ុន្តែមិនបានទប់ស្កាត់មិនឲ្យយើងធ្វើ CSR កើតទេគ្រាន់តែយើងបងបាយទិសបដូរសកម្មភាពមួយចំនួន CSR ដោយថាពីមុនយើងត្រូវផ្ដល់ការអប់រំបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលឬក៏អភិវឌ្ឍធ្វើផ្សេងៗតែយើងទៅជាការចែកម៉ាស់បណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលការអប់រំពីការការពារតាមការណែនាំរបស់ក្រសួងសុខាភិបាលដើម្បីឲ្យជៀសផុតពីជំងឺ COVID បាទប្រកាសថាយើងនឹងណែនាំឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្សេងព្រោះយើងថាការនេះគឺការងារល្អព្រោះយើងជឿជាក់ថាក្រុមហ៊ុន Chip Monsi តែមួយគត់ចូលរួម CSR มันអាចធ្វើឲ្យប្រទេសរីកចម្រើនបានច្រើននេះអញ្ចឹងតើមានការចូលរួមពីក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្សេងហើយបើបានទាំងអស់គឺកាន់តែល្អធ្វើឲ្យប្រទេសយើងកាន់តែរីកចម្រើនបាទ
ខ្ញុំពិតជាចង់ឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្សេងទៀតចូលរួមក្នុងកម្មវិធីហ្នឹងព្រោះអីមិនមែនថាក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្ទាល់ទេដែលទទួលបានគេឈ្មោះអញ្ចឹងធ្វើឲ្យមានន័យថាមុខជំនួញរបស់យើងវាអាចស្ថិតស្ថេរនិរន្តរភាព
En tout cas, nous pouvons recommander à toutes les entreprises à participer à ce concours et à y participer. Pour ma part, moi je remercie beaucoup les équipes d'EuroCham qui ont organisé ce concours et qui nous ont rendus très fiers.
It's very, very important that positive contributions that your business are making to society as a whole are showcased and are recognized. So please welcome and join us for the awards.
This video will explain how to join the 2021 EUroCham CSR Contest and Award.
What is the EUroCham CSR Contest? Our contest promotes corporate social responsibility in Cambodia, including social, environmental, and community causes.
This year, we will introduce a new category for youth generation with an innovative vision.
Who can join? The EUroCham CSR contest is all about inclusiveness and open to non-members.
The corporate category is open to local and foreign businesses registered in Cambodia.
And the youth community engagement category is open for young Cambodian citizens and residents between 16 and 25 years old and youth organizations active for longer than 1 year.
Why enter the contest? This contest will give the chance to become known as a role model in the CSR community.
Selected nominees will receive support and networking opportunities.
And you might win an award.
You can enter the contest between March 1st and March 31st.
Go to our CSR website. You can find the link in the description.
Brought to you by EUroCham Cambodia.
Join us now, creating a bridge to a sustainable future for all.